Welcome, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And boy, do we got a lot to talk about. Trump is back right here in Florida, right up the street and from where I'm at right now, which is awesome. And, you know, I got to tell you, this is no joke. The weather today is perfect. It's the perfect temperature. The sun is out. There's hardly a cloud in the sky. And it's one of the best weather days we've had in a long, long time. I don't think that's a coincidence. Trump coming to town, coming back home to Mar-a-Lago last night. Obviously, the weather wants to show its gratitude towards President Trump for doing everything that he does. All right, we got a lot to cover on the program here. If you'd like to call in, if you're watching live, you can do that. The number is toll-free, no matter where you are listening, and is pinned in the chat. If you're watching live, you can call in live, of course. Okay. I want to first start with the FBI purge that has been going on. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll get to the calls shortly. The FBI purge that's been going on. You know, since Trump came down the escalator, the deep state has been after President Trump. And that deep state, I believe, and I think this most people believe, the lead of that is indeed the FBI. And this purge that's going on by Trump of the FBI is happening really it should happen, but it's saving Kash Patel the headache. He's doing all of this before Kash Patel comes in. So when Kash Patel comes in, who will be confirmed, he's confirmed now. Come on, you guys saw the hearing. He did spectacular. The Republican senators are behind him, and he's cleaning house and purging the lawfare people of the FBI before Kash Patel comes in. He has terminated basically the entire 7th floor of the D.C. FBI office, which is where all the leadership is. He's also gone is the FBI special agent in charge in Miami who led the break-in of Mar-a-Lago, where they went through Melania's underwear drawer and all of that stuff. So this is huge. And I don't know if any of you were fans of the X-Files back in the 90s. Were you guys a fan of the X-Files? The whole thing about the X-Files was who's the secret government? And, you know, that's been a discussion forever and ever. And I think it's safe to say that since the days of J. Edgar Hoover, the secret government of the United States has been the FBI. And Trump is the only president who's had the guts and had what it takes with the BDE and all that to finally take them down. You know, God only know. We know they brought down Nixon and his vice president Spiro Agnew and replaced them with Warren Commission deep stater Gerald Ford as president. But could only imagine what else they've been involved in all these years after we've seen what they've done to President Trump since he came down the escalator. Now, this is panic taking place. This is MSNBC last night as the FBI purge was breaking.
There's an enormous impact.
Oh, hold on.
Kate, this is...
One second, guys. Let me cue this up here.
This is probably the biggest purge in the modern history of the FBI, and we're talking about most of the senior leadership at the Bureau. You mentioned those 6 executive assistant directors. They're like the top supervisors on the 7th floor here in headquarters at Washington, D.C. But today we're learning that as many as 20 or more special agents in charge of various field offices around the country have also been removed from their posts. Now, technically, these people can't be fired illegally, but the practical reality is that it's really difficult for them to fight it, and many of them are eligible for retirement, and so they are retiring, they are capitulating. But people we're talking to are very alarmed. They say it's not supposed to work that way.
It's not supposed to work that way. Well, you know what? You're not supposed to break into the houses of presidents of the United States either. Okay, it's not supposed to work that way either.
The FBI is not staffed by political appointees.
What a bunch of BS. Not staffed by... See, this shows you the media, let me rewind that a little bit so we can finish it, but it shows you how the media are an arm of the deep state, right? Oh, it's not supposed to be this way. They're not political. They are the textbook definition of political.
Fired illegally, but the practical reality is that it's really difficult for them to fight it, and many of them are eligible for retirement, and so they are retiring, they are capitulating. But people we're talking to are very alarmed. They say it's not supposed to work that way. The FBI is not staffed by political appointees, unlike many other agencies. These are career civil servants we're talking.
I'm sorry to stop it again. I won't stop it again, okay? This is the last time I'll stop it. How can this guy get on national television and say the FBI is not political and do it with a straight face?
So they are retiring, they are capitulating. But people we're talking to are very alarmed. They say it's not supposed to work that way. The FBI is not staffed by political appointees, unlike many other agencies. These are career civil servants we're talking about with decades of experience at the nation's premier law enforcement agency that's also an intelligence agency. And there's real concern here about who's going to fill these jobs going forward and also why this is being done. Is this retribution because the FBI investigated Donald Trump?
Yes, it's not retribution. It's justice. If you got bad cops, right? If you've got police officers who are committing crimes, you go after them. I remember once here where in South Florida, Broward County, which is where Fort Lauderdale is, I remember the sheriff of the whole county, he got arrested, went to prison. Just because you're a cop doesn't mean everything you do is legal. You can misuse your authority. This is not retribution. It's called justice. And I bet you there's a lot of concern on who's going to take over, because the people that are going to take over are going to be MAGA people. All right? The people that take over are not going to be deep statists that have been groomed since their granddaddy's time and great-granddaddy's time to be FBI leadership. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Here we go. Here's an article out of Reuters. Trump's Justice Department launches sweeping cuts targeting J6 prosecutors and FBI agents. I wonder what's going to happen. The Congress, this was pretty twisted. They approved the construction of a new FBI building, and I remember Matt Gaetz, when he was on the floor of the House arguing against it, said that the building's larger than the Pentagon. Are you kidding? Why do they need a building even the size of the Pentagon, not to mention one that's bigger? But anyway, this is Reuters. President Donald Trump's administration launched a sweeping round of cuts at the Justice Department on Friday that appeared to focus on FBI agents and others who worked on cases related to the January 6th attack by his supporters on the U.S. Capitol. My apologies for the inaccuracy in that statement. I'm reading from Reuters. Donald Trump supporters did not attack the U.S. Capitol, Reuters. Get your stories accurate. The shakeup, detailed in two memos seen by Reuters and by three sources familiar with the matter, is the Trump administration's latest move to remake the U.S. criminal justice system. Yeah, remake it so it's not a political weapon targeting political appointees. I remember this opposition leader to Putin who was in prison, who died in prison. Remember that, right? When the Ukraine war was, that's what they were doing to Trump. They're trying to put Trump in prison for life. I lost my place. Okay. Trump's administration's latest move to remake the U.S. criminal justice system since he returned to the presidency last week. A group representing FBI agents issued a rare public warning of the potential for hundreds of firings as the nation's top law enforcement agency. Again, this is Reuters. It's left-wing, so, I'll apologize in advance for their slanderous, inaccurate reporting in this story, which I'm reading cold to you. The new administration already has fired more than a dozen prosecutors who pursued criminal charges against Trump in two cases brought by special counsel Jack Smith that have been dismissed. Jack Smith was he was an illegally appointed special counsel. Yeah, these are all criminals. And anyone, think about it. Anyone who worked on that case, was there anyone there that did not know what they were doing was wrong? Now, they may think they were heroes saving America from this time. It doesn't matter. Everyone who worked on that case was involved in criminal activities. The Trump administration has also paused all civil rights and environmental litigation and ordered criminal investigations of state and local officials who interfere with his hardline immigration initiatives. Yeah, I saw in one state, I can't remember which one. I've got the story out. Maybe I'll pull it on my X. Maybe I'll pull it up later. But one state is assisting illegals in changing their names to make it difficult for ICE to find them, which I think that's aiding and abetting, very criminal. That's a federal crime. The FBI was ordered to provide by Tuesday a list of all employees who worked on a 2024 criminal case brought by the Justice Department against leaders of the Hamas militant group, according to a memo seen by Reuters. A source briefed on the matter also said the FBI was asked to provide a list of employees who worked on the two Trump cases brought by that scumbucket, Jack Smith. The memo ordered 8 FBI officials to resign or be fired, saying that their participation in the J6 cases represented part of what Trump has called the weaponization of government. No doubt about that. In a statement on Friday, the FBI Agents Association, what's that? MSNBC, CNN? A membership group of more than 14,000 active and former FBI agents, called the moves outrageous. Dismissing potentially hundreds of agents would severely weaken the Bureau's ability to protect the country from national security and criminal threats, and will ultimately risk setting up the Bureau and its new leadership for failure. Oh, well, wow. Maybe we don't need them anymore. Maybe the FBI is just too corrupt to be saved. Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right. Once, twice. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. Let me finish with this story. The staff cuts are hitting career FBI officials and prosecutors in nonpartisan roles who typically remain in their post from administration to administration. Yeah, because they get files on people. I mean, look at this hearing with Kash Patel yesterday. I was talking about this on the program yesterday. If you watch the Democrats questioning Kash Patel, they looked hysterical, in a panic. Like right before the hearing, they had gotten the file that you better defend us and go after him, or this is going to become public and your wife or husband or your constituents will not like it. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. You're on the air. Oh, let me try this one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Howdy. Don't worry about my name. Don't worry about where I'm calling from. You called me a narcissist yesterday. Or the day or two ago. You said you wanted to speak with the narcissist. So I'm back. What's up?
I don't even remember the conversation.
I'm sure that you don't, because you don't matter and you don't know anything. And so let's have a conversation.
If I don't matter, why are you calling me? If I don't matter, why are you calling me?
That's a good question.
Did I call you?
I guess that's a good question, because you said that I don't matter. So I'm calling you back to let you know that you don't matter.
Okay,
So
all right.
Let's have a conversation about Trump, please. Can we have a conversation about politics, or do you care actually about anything that's going on? Or
I care about a lot of what's going on, but I don't care about I don't care about anything that you think about what's going on.
So then what's the point of having a call-in show if you don't get, like, you talked about, you literally said that you wanted to talk to me. You said, hey, I wanted to talk to the narcissist. I recorded it. You hung up on me, said, hey, I wanted
you know what?
to talk
No.
to the narcissist.
I changed my mind.
Yeah, no. What?
I did want to talk to you. Now I don't. Well, listen, I do a call-in show. I've been doing it for 30 years, right? But you have to have quality. I know, because I'm very good at it. You have to have quality control with the callers.
300 followers, you're 91.6 million subscribers, and the fact that you don't know anything about politics has really led you to be a wonderful speaker and individual.
I'm very good. I am very good at what I do and paid very well for doing it.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Fantastic parent.
Think about this. I have made a living. I have made a living for 30 years doing this. Hey, listen.
Scamming.
Yes, hey, listen. Listen. I'm going to move on, but I appreciate the call. You're welcome to listen. You're welcome to listen. Oh my goodness. Let me get back to the importance here. The FBI purge. This is Reuters, liberal Reuters. I'm reading from, friends. Okay. The staff cuts are hitting career FBI officials and prosecutors in nonpartisan roles who typically remain in their post from administration to administration. The Bureau has a history of political independence and is responsible for highly sensitive investigations involving counterterrorism, public corruption, and cybersecurity. In his first day back in the White House on January 20th, Trump granted clemency to all of the nearly 1,600 people charged with storming the Capitol. Now, again, liberal Reuters, they did not storm the Capitol in a failed bid to block Congress, blah, blah, blah. Let me skip down. At least 5 top FBI officials in major U.S. cities, Miami, Philadelphia, Washington, New Orleans, and Las Vegas were ordered to resign or be fired, one of the sources said. Another source said that a 6th senior FBI official in Los Angeles was given a similar order. Another 5 top officials in FBI headquarters were ordered to leave or face termination earlier in the week, another source told Reuters. FBI and see, they're telling Reuters everything because they're liberal. They're in league with them. This is an Operation Mockingbird article I'm reading. I wonder if Kash Patel could shut down Operation Mockingbird. How much of the liberal media would go dark if Operation Mockingbird was shut down? By the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian Craig, and you'll enjoy my content, I promise you. What we are seeing is a raw, unfiltered exercise of presidential authority to purge the government of anyone who put the Constitution first. What part of the Constitution tells people to go through Melania Trump's underwear drawer? What amendment to the Constitution is that? Instead of adherence to loyalty to Donald Trump, said Bradley Moss, an attorney who represents federal employees. At a time when we are facing a multitude of threats to the homeland. See, the problem is these Washington insiders consider the greatest threat to the homeland Donald Trump. So if he has an agency who believes he's the greatest threat to the homeland, I don't think they could work for him. They're out. It is deeply alarming that the Trump administration appears to be purging dozens of the most experienced agents who are our nation's first line of defense, said Mark Warner, Democrat U.S. Senator. Blah, blah, blah. First line of defense, yeah. Kash Patel, Trump's nominee to lead the FBI. Excuse me, I apologize for that. I don't know. You could count on one hand how many times I've belched into a microphone over the years. Kash Patel, Trump's nominee to lead the FBI, told a U.S. Senate panel on Thursday during his confirmation hearing that he would protect the Bureau's 37,000 employees. I guess it's 36,000 something now, maybe even 35,000 something employees now. Well, they're not going to be employees when he takes over. They're out. The same day, the Justice Department said it was investigating the release by an upstate New York sheriff's office of an immigrant living in the U.S. illegally. This appears to be the first use of a new policy to criminally investigate state and local officials who do not comply with Trump's directives. Well, yeah, these are federal agents. If you're local law enforcement and you're obstructing federal agents, you've committed a crime. And that's that on that article. I might have another article. I got some other things too I want to touch on.
2 criminal cases.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hold on. There you go. You're on the air. Be the same guy. Watch. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? No, let me try this line. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Howdy, don't worry about it. I'm the same guy.
You know, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. No, it's not open phones. It's not open phones. And if you call again, I'm going to suspend your services or I should say revoke your privileges to call. It is not open calls. Open phones is on Friday's show. It's always open phones on Fridays. Today is not a Friday. CR just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me pull. I got another article here. This one is from CNN, another liberal Operation Mockingbird outfit. Trump Department of Justice demands a list of thousands of FBI agents and others who worked on J6 and Trump investigations for possible firing. Okay, the Trump administration. Okay, now this is an article of Before the Fact. This is beautiful. It really, truly is beautiful. This country has been held hostage by lawfare. Do you understand that what we're doing right now? This is free speech, and in America we have the freedom to question those in authority, to question our government. Do you understand that if Willie Brown's girlfriend, this wino, Kamala Harris, wino as in alk, okay? Kamala Harris had won the presidency of the United States. God forbid. Oh, my goodness. We'd be in all kinds of trouble. Well, no doubt about that. But the First Amendment would be gone. What they were set to do was declare MAGA a domestic hate group, maybe even a terrorist group, and shut down political opposition. And this fake proxy war that they've lied and sold us on against Russia and Ukraine, they tell us, we're protecting democracy while they were erasing it from here in this country. And I want to tell you, I don't want to get sidetracked on this because I got some new stories that I want to talk about. But earlier last week, President Trump talked about we're gonna have a U.S. missile defense shield, and I was talking about how I was surprised we didn't have this. A missile defense shield should not be confused with what Ronald Reagan was talking about with Gorbachev in the 80s with the SDI Star Wars program. What a missile shield is, like the Iron Dome in Israel, I know 99.9% of everybody watching me knows what it is, but, we got some liberals out there listening, so every once in a while I got to get the crayons and the fat pencils out, okay? So my apologies. But here's the thing. What the Iron Dome in Israel is are ground-based rockets and missiles that can launch and intercept incoming rockets and missiles. And I was shocked to learn that the United States, while we have intercontinental ballistic missiles that are able to be fired on enemy targets all over the world, I was shocked to learn that we don't have the ability to shoot down incoming missiles into the United States. And how many of you were shocked at that we don't have the ability to do that? I had no idea. And last night I was watching the news with my wife, and I said, and we were talking about this, and I said to my wife, I said, that means the whole Cold War was a complete lie. I've thought that my whole life. All right, this Cold War, well, my whole adult life. And when I was a kid, I didn't know. I was growing up, and they were terrifying us. When I was a kid. But I came to realize as an adult, the entire Cold War was a lie, like this war in Ukraine. The Soviet Union was never a threat. If the Soviet Union was truly a threat, okay, if the Soviet Union was truly a threat, they would have the ability we would already have a missile defense shield of rockets to shoot down incoming Russian missiles. The fact that we don't have it shows that the Cold War was a complete lie. I mean, that's just that. Okay, now DEI, which President Trump has said many times is responsible for this god-awful plane crash in D.C. a couple days ago, said this last night.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like a bad idea to me. DEI would have ruined our country, and now it's dead. I think DEI is dead, so if they want to scrub the website, that's okay with me. But I can't tell you. I guess probably certain people handle it certain ways. But I'll tell you who's very happy about it, the military.
Okay, yeah, I mean, DEI, President Trump is telling us is done. It's done, and it's dead. It's no longer in effect.
DEI would have ruined our country, and now it's dead.
Now it's dead, yeah. And, DEI, what DEI is, and this is not, it's a legalized system. We'll get to this joker in a minute. It's a legalized system of racial discrimination against white people. That's what it is. Martin Luther King's dream was a colorblind society, and DEI is the opposite of that. I was watching Fox News this morning, Fox and Friends, for about an hour because of that Mexican plane crash in Philadelphia. By the way, Mexican nationals were on that plane, flying back to Mexico from Shriners. What the hell is that all about? I know Shriners, they're like St. Jude, right? It's a charitable hospital. But why are there Mexican nationals flying on a private jet? And I noticed there's like no information on the Mexican nationals on that jet, that medical jet that went down in Philadelphia last night. Are they migrants? Illegals that were in this country that are flying around on private jets? I don't know. I don't know. I just thought that was a bit strange. Didn't you find that a bit strange? I'd like to know who they are. And if are they connected in Mexico? And if so, how could you be connected if you're not? I don't know. I thought that was very, very strange. But anyway, I was watching Fox News for about an hour straight this morning to get the updates on the plane crash. And I saw DEI at work every time they went to commercial break. Unless it was Mike Lindell talking about My Pillow, there were not any white people in the commercials. They're all black people. And I have nothing wrong with black people being in commercials, but everyone, I mean, it's just, that's DEI at work. It's racial discrimination. And it's over. And I was talking on my podcast with my wife last night. If you listen to that podcast, you heard this. If not, when I'm done here, you should go and check it out. On my podcast last night, what I was talking about was what one of the Republican senators in the Kash Patel hearing, I can't remember which one, but he made such a great point. He was talking about the way that these Democrats were behaving when they were questioning Kash Patel. And what he said was so spot on and right on the money. And he said the Democrats don't understand the country has changed. And he's right about that. They have no clue that the country has changed. And they're like people from another time that have been plucked out of comas and put in the Congress and are asking questions from the 80s. And that's really true. And DEI is most definitely dead, not just at the federal level, but throughout this country. People have been very much against it, but until Trump was reelected, people didn't realize how popular Trumpism was on the left. Okay, a lot of people, they may be Democrats, but they don't support all this lunacy, and they kept their mouths shut because they were afraid of being canceled. But DEI is not just dead because it's being purged from the federal government. The people of the United States do not support racial discrimination against anyone, even white people, all right, which is what DEI is. And in fact, Pete Hegseth said that the only holidays that are going to be represented by or celebrated by the Pentagon moving forward is the 4th of July. Okay, so they're no longer now the media are they're no longer going to celebrate Martin Luther King Day. No, they're not going to celebrate anything other than 4th of July. And by the way, if you're on hold, I'm going to go to the phones in a moment and to that one gentleman that called twice. If you call in again today, I don't like to do this, but I'm going to tell you, if you call in again today, I'm going to ban you from calling. Okay, I don't mind people calling and giving me grief. Friday is open phones. On Friday, you can call in about anything you want. The other days, other than Friday, are not open phones. You got to call in about what I'm talking about. Okay, but I will. If you call in one more time today, I will ban you from calling. And I don't like doing that. I mean, you can count on one hand the people that are banned from calling me. Okay, but look at this. This is huge. Now, this DEI, which is a rebranding of affirmative action. Affirmative action became very unpopular, so they renamed it DEI. And it's like global warming. Global warming, the weather wasn't agreeing with the name, so they changed it to climate change, right? This DEI started in so many ways from this anti-racism that went on, all right? And this anti-racism started by this weird guy, this Kendi X, and he was at Boston University, which of course is where AOC went to college. And Boston University is closed as anti-racist research center, and the guy that founded it, this Ibrahim X. Kendi, has left. And when this anti-racism was first, taking the media by storm during the summer of BLM riots, I went and got this guy's book, and I tried reading it. It didn't even make sense, and I thought, well, maybe something's wrong with me. So I got the audiobook on Audible, and I had to take a long drive. I took a long drive to Orlando and back one day. I listened to it up and back. It's absurd. The whole book. It's not just that. I'm not talking about that I disagree with its premise. It's just written by someone who sounds very uneducated. It doesn't make any points. at all. But listen to this. Boston University, which is liberal, is closing its Center for Anti-Racist Research as its founding director scholar, Ibrahim X. Kendi, leaves for another job. Now, he's moving to Howard University, which is the historically black college, right? So anti-racism is over. If it has to go to, how can you take your fight against racism and discrimination, which is not what he was doing. This guy, Ibrahim Kendi, is fighting for racism and discrimination against whites. He's taking his anti-racist program to a racially segregated school. Howard University is racially segregated. That seems to be counter of what his front story is. And why do we even have racially segregated colleges anymore? Aren't we beyond that? I thought the people were against that. You're on the air.
Is that how you get off?
Okay. I want to tell you that's the last time. This is the last time. That's the last time you'll speak with me. You're now banned from the program. I told you. I knew it was going to be him. That's why I took that call. You're now banned from the program. I'm sorry, guys. You got to see the behind the scenes in action. I warned him. Get your own show. Get your own YouTube channel, and you can spew your stuff all day. Okay? Okay, so the DEI and anti-racism is done. It's over. It's over now. That's it. There'll still be, it'll still be here and there. There'll be pockets of it. But in mainstream society, it is now over. And it will never be mainstream again. Even though they tried very hard to make it mainstream, it will never be mainstream again. And that's a good thing. We want to be in a color-blind society where skin color is not on applications for college, for school, or anything, okay? And everything is based on merit. I know everyone's using the word meritocracy now because I've never heard that word before. Now everyone's using it like it's a common word. Meritocracy is not a common word, but everything's going to be on qualifications, on merit, moving forward. Now, before I move forward, I want to tell you about the great deal at MyPillow.com that he's offering. Now, if you want to support my channel and my content, which includes everything I do, which is not just my YouTube channel here, but my podcast, as well as the radio show and everything that goes into that. A great way for you to do that is to go to mypillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Call us on hold standby. I may or may not get to the calls because I got a lot to get to, and I got a lot of things I got to do off the air today too. But Mike Lindell is offering an incredible special right now. And on top of these great discounts on some of the most popular MyPillow products, he's offering free shipping site-wide on all orders, no matter how large or small. And this is with my promo code Kane at checkout. Now, it doesn't say that on the website because this is kind of like a secret special that's going on. But for a while, I've been telling you the special has been free shipping on orders over $75. That special is no longer in place. It's free shipping on all orders, no matter how small or how large. So it's a pretty good deal with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And you can see some of the most popular MyPillow products: the sheets, the towels, of course, Mike Lindell's cross, the pillows, the slippers, there's a whole bunch of new kitchen products, oven mitts, pot holders, and even MyPillow aprons. And you can use my promo code on all these, and it is free. See the MyPillow apron, brand new, just $19.99. Look at the oven mitts, come in multiple colors, very good deal. Free shipping on everything site-wide at MyPillow.com, as well as these incredible specials with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. So the next thing that's going on, of course, is we got the FBI purge, but also what's going on. Oh, by the way, Tim K just gifted 5 memberships to people in the live stream chat. Thank you so much, Tim K, for that. And remember, when you're a member, you get your name in a special color so it stands out in the chat and I can see it better. And also, you have access to all the members-only emojis that are in there. So when you're a member, check it out, and you can see all the exclusive members-only emojis that are available. So not only do we have an FBI purge going on, we have a purge of, well, illegal invaders all over this country with the deportation led by ICE and others, okay? And this guy here is a local guy in my area. He's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which I'm going to be at today. I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale today. Fort Lauderdale is where I grew up. It's where my mother lives. It's where I went to high school, and it's not too far from here. But this roofer who's been going viral the last couple days, listen.
This is an update on the ICE raids from the perspective of a general contractor. I just had a roofer completely cancel on my job because he is picking up the pieces from all of his other job sites that got raided, and the crews are just gone. So I'm in Fort Lauderdale, and this is a roofer that I've been working with for years. It's sub, it's labor, and I'm providing materials and working under my roofing license with my supervision. So it's how many of the roofers do it down here. And we were figuring out the final details, and I'm like, hey man, let's get that final number together. And I was kind of trying to figure out because he hadn't sent me the final price yet. And I'm like, what's going on, dude? And he finally wrote me just now, and he said, I have to walk from this job. I cannot physically complete it because I am personally working on a number of roofs that the crews are just gone. So how is this helping us? Fucked up.
Yeah, right. Effed up, right. So what this guy is, by the way, if you, Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing, who's a sponsor of mine, you hear me talk in that commercial. Tom just told me about this about a week ago, and I've been talking about how a lot of people that are roofers borrow someone's license, and then they're in the roofing business. That's what this guy does. He has a license. He's not a roofer. He just loans his license to random people. But what this guy says is effed up is that the illegals that are working on these crews that he's loaning his license out to do roofs are afraid to go to work. So the companies aren't able to do work. These are American jobs, by the way, which are skilled jobs. This isn't picking strawberries, okay? It's got to have some skill in it as well. Every job has skills to it that are unique to that. I don't know how to pick strawberries. I can't take the heat all day and do that. But roof work is skilled labor. Roofing is highly skilled, highly complex, and this isn't cleaning toilets, okay? And think about it. How many skilled construction workers have been out of work because guys like this? And what he says is effed up is that he can't have his low-pay slave workforce out there. I don't know what kind of car he drives. Is he getting ready to get into his Cybertruck? I don't know. Or he probably has a very expensive car or truck. And if he hires legal workers that are either in the country, immigrants who are here legally, or he hires, get crazy now, U.S. citizens, he has to pay them like proper wages, and he cannot live in the lifestyle to which he is comfortable unless he has slave laborers. And I know, isn't that? I mean, this guy's out of his freaking mind.
This is an update on the ICE raids from the perspective of a general contractor. I just had a roofer completely cancel on my job because he is picking up the pieces from all of his other job sites that got raided, and the crews are just gone. So I'm in Fort Lauderdale, and this is a roofer that I've been working with for years. It's sub, it's labor, and I'm providing materials and working under my roofing license with my supervision. So it's how many of the roofers do it down here. And we were figuring out the final details, and I'm like, hey man, let's get that final number together. And I was kind of trying to figure out because he hadn't sent me the final price yet. And I'm like, what's going on, dude? And he finally wrote me just now, and he said, I have to walk from this job. I cannot physically complete it because I am personally working on a number of roofs that the crews are just gone. So how is this helping us? Fucked up.
Now, is this guy, is this a confession that he's using illegal labor? Isn't that a crime? You're not allowed to do that. Is he? But, this is, I was talking about this earlier in the week on the program. What you hear these liberal jerks saying is they're losing their slave laborers, right? And they can't function without it. This is the same argument the Democrats made before the Civil War when the abolitionists in the Republican Party wanted to end slavery? Who's going to pick the cotton? Who's going to take care of our children? Who's going to farm the fields? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? Our economy will not be able to function without this low-cost slave labor. Well, that's what the Democrats are talking about now. And the economy will be fine, and industry will be fine. And guys like this who are using very sketchy practices on something very important like roof work. In Florida, we have hurricanes, so roof is important everywhere, but especially if you're in Hurricane Alley. This purge of low-life business people that have been illegally hiring illegals instead of either legal immigrants or Americans. I have no sympathy for them and their slave labor, okay, as the Cybertruck payment comes due here at the beginning of the month for the guys like this. They are most definitely slave masters and overseers. Now, this is something that's becoming very regular. I'm only going to play one of these, but this is very regular scene we're seeing everywhere. Here's a lady in a Walmart speaking the Spanish, and wait, let me see if it tells me where this is. Hold on. She's a legal Mexican. It doesn't say where it is. Okay, but there's subtitles here for the Spanish.
Mis amores, aquí rapidito. Miren cómo está el Walmart vacío, sin gente. Ayer aquí no vino ni un solo latino. Y aquí sigo, miren. Miren cómo están todas estas cajas que siempre están llenas. Las filas son inmensas. No hay nadie, ni un latino por aquí.
Wow, she's in tears. She's like Selena Gomez here. So, has Walmart been involved in a major operation of hiring illegals? You know, I'm sorry that there's so many industries built around this slave labor force of illegals, but I have less than zero sympathy for this. You know, I don't buy this thing that there's not anyone to do these jobs. Now, of course, we know that there are, they have visa programs for migrant workers and others that have certain jobs, and they need migrant labor and stuff like that. So farms and things that need that type of labor, there's a legal system for them to do it, and it'll still come here, and it's nothing to worry about. But how many people have been putting Americans out of work because like that fake roofer and this lady, showing what Walmart's doing, are hiring illegal workers? There's got to be millions of jobs. That's why if you've seen these employment statistics under Biden in the last year of Biden's regime, we've seen that the only job growth has been with the illegals, not with Americans. Now, and this is another thing that's going to have to be purged. This has gone pretty viral. I can't play the audio because there's music on it, but this is a teacher who is putting a bar on her classroom door, which is in violation of the fire codes, by the way, very dangerous. But she's put this bar on her door to keep federal agents out from deporting the illegals in her classroom. Look at this. Look at that. And I'd like to know if she really did that herself or she have someone do it. That's a fire hazard. It's very illegal, and it's also obstructing federal agents, which is a crime in itself as well. Now, I want to tell you guys, if you would like to become a Patreon supporter of my channel, you have access to, all Patreon supporters have access to commercial-free editions of the Brian Craig Show podcast, and there's other benefits too, but if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of all of my videos, as well as all my podcast episodes, and you can become a Patreon supporter and have access to commercial free editions of all of my podcast episodes. So now, today, import taxes go into effect. Now, they don't really take effect until next month, but Trump signed the order, and the process begins today. And before he flew to Florida last night, he was talking with reporters about it.
President, is there anything China, Canada, and Mexico can do tonight to forestall your implementation of tariffs tomorrow?
No, nothing. Not right now, no.
Not a negotiating tool?
No, it's not. No, it's a pure economic. We have big deficits with, as you know, with all three of them. And in one case, they're sending massive amounts of fentanyl, killing hundreds of thousands of people a year with the fentanyl.
Yeah. So why should we be, at what point in American history has Mexico not been a problem for us? They've always been a problem. The whole history of the United States, since we've been out west, there's been problems with Mexico. There's no doubt about it. Why, what are we supposed to do? Suck up the fentanyl? Suck up the rapists and murderers and keep sending them money? All these liberals that talk against tariffs, which of course is another word for import taxes, they want to say they're against tariffs, not import taxes, because they don't want to say the words that they're against a tax, because liberals love taxes so much. But tariffs are import taxes. Who cares if these people got to pay taxes south of the border or north of the border? Okay? Democrats, I've never heard the Democrats argue against taxes before like this. Have you? Why are we paying all the taxes? Why get our taxes cut and let Canada and let Mexico pay some taxes through the tariffs? And if they don't want to pay these taxes, stop sending us the poison of fentanyl. Stop sending us rapists. Stop sending us murderers. And from north of the border, they're sending us a lot of crap too, including illegals and drugs. There may be even more drugs coming through the northern border because the northern border with Canada is completely unfortified, really, except for some places where you drive through on some major roads. So it's probably easier to bring drugs through there. So stop doing these things, which are an attack on our country, and the tariffs will be gone. That's it. It's a bunch of nonsense. Pretty fed up with it all, actually, to tell you the truth. It's about time we have a president, because I don't think we've had one like this before, who's standing up for Americans for a change, right? That's exactly right. When have we had an American who stood up like this for Americans? Not even Ronald Reagan stood up for us like this. He did a lot of good things, Ronald Reagan, but he didn't stand up for us like this. And you know what? We'll probably never have a president who stands up for us quite like this. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi. This is Joan from Tampa Bay.
Hey, Joan.
Have all these bleeding hearts ever tried to enter a different country?
Exactly.
When I live in Florida, like you, and we don't see snow. And I had some friends in Scotland, and they said, come up for 3 weeks. And I said, yeah, great. If I'm going to go all that distance and pay all that money, I'll come up for 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So I went to go there. Going through customs, number one, they wanted to know where I was going to be staying.
Oh, my goodness.
And then they asked me, do I have money to keep myself there on my own fruition? So I had to go with my ATM card and get a printout of my balance in my account.
Oh, my Lord, really? How invasive.
Yes. To enter the country.
What country was this? What country?
Scotland.
Scotland. Oh.
Yes. Part of the UK.
Wow,
yes.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yes, I had to go, before they would let me out into the lobby to, have my girlfriend pick me up, I had to show I had enough money to sustain myself for 3 weeks in Scotland.
Wow.
Yes, sir, I did.
Wow. That's crazy. I don't even have the ability. My wife handles all the money. I don't even have the ability on my phone to pull up my bank account. I guess I'd get sent back to America if I tried to enter Scotland.
Yeah, really. Well, I had to prove that, but I did have several thousands of dollars in the account at the moment, which was good.
Yeah.
And they let me go into the country, but no. All these bleeding hearts, are they doing that to the people coming into the border?
No, they ask them, how much do you want? And then they give them free housing, food, and everything else. Education.
Oh, I had to give them the address I was going to. What are you coming in for? I'm going to spend some time with my friend. I haven't seen snow in I don't know how many years because I used to live in New York. And she said, well, we want to make sure you're going to go home. And I said, well, hell, I live in Florida.
Yeah, especially
and I own my own
now.
home.
Especially now you're going to go home.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. All right, I appreciate the
And
call.
that's
It's a good story. The show, we got our listener cruise coming up, and this is my passport. I'm just going on a cruise ship. I can't get on the cruise ship without this. And we're just going to these countries for a few hours. When our ship docks, and I still need this. I got to keep it with me. Why do I need a passport? But these people, not only do they not need a passport to come here, can set up their whole life. It makes no sense at all. Well, listen, it's been a great first, really, not quite 2 weeks of the Trump presidency so far. But look what he's done. He's purged the FBI, mass raids of illegal invaders from coast to coast in the United States, which is amping up. DEI is done. This is absolutely amazing. And he's putting in place competent people in charge of the different federal agencies, right? Defense Department and everything else. One last thing I want to talk about. By the way, if you're new, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And if you're new, subscribe. You'll love this channel, I promise you. And if you are not subscribed, subscribe. But if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video if you don't mind. I want to talk about this one thing here for a moment. This is something that I did not know was even possible to happen. But we don't have the name of the second pilot from the Black Hawk in the D.C. plane crash. We know it's a woman with 500 flight hours. And apparently it was released yesterday, and I've never heard of this before. And even the New York Times had an article about this. They said this is incredibly unusual. But the family, when they're notified that their family member has fallen when they're in the military, even like this, in an accident, a civilian inside the United States, they can request, which is honored, they have the right to have the Pentagon or the Army, both, to not release the name of their family member. So the family of the female pilot has told the Pentagon to withhold the name of the person. And it's been days. Now, why is that? Why would they do that? What's going on here? And why has the media not found it? You don't think the media knows who it is or could find out? Of course they could. I can't. You can't. But these Washington media people have friends all over Washington. And believe me, a lot of the more prominent ones who are interested in knowing know already. So why are they withholding that? And this isn't Pete Hegseth, okay? This is not Pete Hegseth's doing. This is the family. Why would the family want to withhold the name of this person? Why? Let me know in the comments what you think about that. All right, guys, thanks for watching. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you next time, all right? Take care.